Hi, my name is Chelsea Carpio, and I've been a realtor for 7 months. This will be my seventh month. I actually got into it because my mom's been in the field for 15, 20 years, and she got into it because she was done dirty. So she was like, no, like, I don't want to go with somebody else that may do me dirty again. So I want to get my license. I want to buy my own home, and I just want to be the person that does it all. And then I just grew up seeing her just evolve, I guess, and then go through different brokerages, get like learning lessons. So I was pretty much like seeing everything happen to the point where I was like, okay, I kind of get how this works. So let's give it a try. Everything in California. I just sold a house in Beaumont, California, which is like Southern California. And now I'm selling one in Corning, which is like the middle of nowhere, but it's somebody's dream home. So getting it done. The biggest challenge was myself. I think that we are our best friend and our worst enemy. And I've had test anxiety since I was, at least that I can remember. I would look at a test and it would be completely blank. And with my real estate exam, I studied so much. I think something that helped me get through it though was I went to my third time taking it and I met some guy in an elevator and he was like, "Oh, like, are you here to take your test?" And I was like, "Yeah, like third time's the, charm, you know?" And he was like, "Oh, it's my 11th try, but we'll get it." And I was like, "Oh." So I hope the guy passed, but it was definitely myself. I struggle with studying sometimes, so I use I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'm so gonna mess this up. It's like the Promethean timer. No, that doesn't seem right. It's a 15-minute on, 5-minute off, 15-minute on, 5-minute off. But on YouTube, they have different versions. So I watched the Legally Blonde version and I put my headset on and you could hear like the typing and the tapping. And on that 5-minute break, you can't touch your phone. You have to do something that like moves you around, but you can't like look at a different device. Like you have to take a break that's like drinking water or just stretching. And that helped me so much. As soon as I figured that out, I ended up passing my exam the very next time. I love people. I love people. I love happiness. And then I love making people happy. So I think that when you're buying a home, when you even start thinking about buying a home and people have asked me to be part of their journey, like it's really big. This is somebody's really big step and you get to be, or like I get to be step by step with them. So it's nice to see. I didn't expect the field to be so genuine. I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting like selling sunset where people are arguing, but everybody I've met and I've come across, whether it was like other realtors or insurance agents or lenders or brokers or whoever it is, everybody's just so nice and they're welcoming and they're genuinely themselves. So it's good to be around. People go into this job immediately knowing that they want it. I kind of went into this being like, okay, this is kind of cool. And I kind of know what I'm doing. So I'll give it a try. And not until right after I sold my first house, I got in escrow with an investor. And I was on their side of the deal and things didn't end up working out. We fell out of escrow. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, oh, I really want this. Like, this is no longer something that like I think is cool and that I think I want to do. Like, this is something I really, really want to pursue. So I think that it may not fully speak out to people right away, but going through the studying, going through the exams, going through the actual like field of everything, like it's either going to come out to you right away or it's not, but just buckle down for the ride and have like an open mind going into it. I think I was about 9 or 10 when the recession was happening. Um, so I don't personally have any feelings towards it, like that I can remember, but I do know like a lot of people were really stressed, and it's familiar to, or it's similar to what's happening now. And we're hearing about it more. Like in any of our office meetings and any of the classes I've taken, they are bringing it up, like the recession, because they're like, we're heading into a bad area. Um, and this is where everybody kind of went through the same thing.
I'd like to add in that I too, I was maybe 11 or 12 in 2008. I was 12 in 2008, the recession. I can recall, like, no wonder why, for the basic, why my parents cannot afford a PS3 for Christmas. So it's just little things that we want as kids, but we were too young to understand it, or maybe we're just following other stuff. We're following pop culture, we're following this, but we don't really understand what's going on from our parents' household because we're just too young or naive.
Yeah, actually, and for you to bring up pop culture is actually it's pretty cool because a lot of the pop music, like, like, oh my gosh, what's the word? It peaked and it just went crazy, and pop music was amazing once the recession hit. And it was because, like, there's documentaries on it and everything. I won't go too deep into it, but it's the fact that people were using music and entertainment as a way to distract people with the recession. So we remember that stuff, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. I know there's memes out there that saying, "Oh, in 2008, I could have bought a home, but I was listening to Lady Gaga or doing Soldier Boy or jerking." So it's funny to watch those.
Yeah. I would say just friends. Like, I'm working with a lot of my friends now that I've known since middle school. So, like, getting them pre-approved and getting them into the process, like, that's really big to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we're adults and we're really doing this. So, like, that's the type of thing that comes back to me in our little memories of being on the playground and such. Oh, I love this. So speaking towards anybody who's gonna want to buy in the next like 6 months or like on, you absolutely can buy a home. You just have to rip off the band-aid and talk to a lender. Like, a lot of people right now are like, oh, like, I want to buy a home, but I can't do it right now, like maybe next year. And I'm like, that's actually perfect. And you should just talk to a lender and see where you are. Because there's a lot of things when they do like reports, like when a lender does a report, that they can pull up things that you don't even know that you have on your record. So there can be something that's messing up your credit that usually everything else that shows you it's not there. So talking to a lender, like, even if you're not fully ready to buy, is great because they can give you a plan to be like, hey, you want to buy in a year or 2 years, do this, and you'll be able to get there. And because there's so much time, you don't have to be like, oh my God, like, I don't really have money to put to the savings right now. That's okay. When you do, this is what you got to do. And I would also say to already imagine, like, I can buy a home, because there's so many people that are like, oh, I can't do it, there's no way. But it's like, take yourself out of that mentality in order for you to believe it. Like, it's from your mouth to the universe, like, go to the open houses. Even if you're not going to buy a house, go to the open houses that are in your community and be like, you know what, I just want to walk in, I want to see, like, do I like high ceilings, do I like a kitchen? A lot of people are like, oh, it's just a house, I really don't care. No, I promise you, you care. You just don't know you care. So take advantage of all the time you have and just explore.
I like that last part of the advice you said about, like, it's like you care about the home, but you don't, because like it could be not just the kitchen, it could be something else. It could be, I don't know, the bedrooms. Like, how's the family like with bedrooms, or how's it like the size of it, or restrooms. Like, is it just the family, or inviting a family with a person who needs a home outside, who's outside the family, to rent, to, like, for example, rent a home. So
Uh, yeah, and it's like a lot of people immediately think of homes and they're like, I don't know, I've never really thought about having a home. And I was like, what does your home look like? And then they'll explain like a regular like home, what you see in all the communities. And then I'm like, but what does your home look like? And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, when you think of home, like, it's a house. You're buying a house and then you're creating it and making it into a home. Like, do you like a manufactured home? Do you want a farm? Do you want something with land that you can add on to later? Do you want a 1 story? You want a 2 story? You want a townhouse? You want a condo? Like, there's so much out there and we just don't talk about it enough, that we're like kind of programmed to think like, I have to get a cookie cutter house like everybody else. Like, no, you absolutely don't. Like duplexes. I love duplexes. It's like, you'll be able to have like your home and your family live up front. And then if you want to have your parents or your best friend or anybody else live in the back house, like you can make rent income that way and then live with your best friend.
It varies from people. Like some people like dirt around their house, some people don't. They like grass or cement.
I think right now my biggest thing is just to be happy and to learn how to take on a million things because I'm a realtor, but I also run a foundation in honor of my little brother. And as my plate gets more and more full, I kind of told myself a couple of days ago, I was like, "Okay, you can't complain. You can't complain that your plate's getting too full because at one point like you had nothing on it and you wanted more." So I think what's next for me is just taking it day by day and seeing what happens.